Hello and welcome to Frozen Synapse 2 Dev Diary number 6. Yes, we sorted out the problem with the numbering conventions, so we're definitely ready to go. I'm Ian Hardingham, I am the designer and lead programmer on Frozen Synapse 2, and today we're going to look at some single player stuff. So join me while we look at several different kinds of things that can happen when squads meet on roads. Now, I do just want to start off this episode just reminding everyone that everything at the moment is very work in progress. So all of the graphics, especially a lot of the level generation, is completely messed up right now. We're actually doing a big push on it this week and next week in preparation for EGX, which should be really awesome. We're going to have Frozen Synapse 2 there in force. But I think despite the mess that the game is in right now, I still think I can show you some interesting stuff. And I'd like to do that. So here we have the city view, and over on the right hand side here we have our base, the player base, and we have one of the players' strike teams. Now, in the grand old tradition of Blue Peter, I have baked something up for you guys. So I have turned off the AI really, and I've got I've set up one of the AI factions, the one called Guest. I've set up one of his teams over here, and I've got his strike team set up in a checkpoint. So you can do various different things. If you want to just sit your squads on the road, you can just have them sit there on the side of the road. You can hide them by the side of the road, and you can set up a checkpoint. Now, setting up a checkpoint is a generally quite aggressive thing to do. It annoys other factions because you're getting in the way. And quite a lot of interesting different things can happen when either your strike team or one of the other AI faction strike teams comes across a checkpoint. Controlling access to various different bits of the city is very important in Frozen Synapse 2. So obviously setting up these checkpoints and deciding who you're going to let past is a big deal as well. So I'm going to send my guys over there and see what happens. Now, I've already set up an operation for my strike team to go over to this location, which is the corner of Van and Kelly. Right now, all of the roads in Frozen Synapse 2 are named after player names from Frozen Cortex that our beta buyers sent in, just because that was a ready source of weird names that I had. I imagine that's going to change, but you never know. Okay, so the game is currently paused. For those of you who don't know, a fair amount of Frozen Synapse 2 is slightly modelled on the older game XCOM Apocalypse, which had a city, and I thought was really cool. But I wanted to take all the different things that happened in that game sort of to the nth degree, take it a lot further. So we're in pause time right now, and this section on the lower left gives us the option to advance time. So we can go 1 minute at a time, and you'll see that our squad is moving forward in little jumps there. This really upsets Paul, who wants them to move smoothly, and they will move smoothly, but only after I've made the rest of the game work. So you're just going to have to ignore that for now. So we're gonna press play, and I don't think very much is going to happen on our way there, as I've turned off all other AI activity. But we are just going to press play, and we're going to see our strike team going down the road. Getting closer now. Something has happened. I'll just take a quick detour to show you. We have a really nice system called the action token system that will pause the game when anything important that you might want to interact with happens. In general, when I make a big game like this, I don't want to have to worry that I'm never managing everything correctly. I don't want to have to go into 10 different screens and have to read an entire book before I feel like I'm playing the game properly. So with the action token system, we kind of want to alert players to all the stuff that they actually really need to do, so they can get on with the business of being creative and just doing what they want to within the city. Because nothing turns me off a game more when I start playing it than feeling like I'm not playing it properly. Like I'm missing out on obvious decisions that I don't know how to make because I haven't learned the game or read the wiki. So that's one of the primary things that I want to make sure doesn't happen in this game. Now, this is something to do with the big incursion force, big bad guys, and we're just going to ignore that for now. And then we're going to press play. So our strike team is toddling along, and he's going to get there. Yep, very exciting. He's got there. And the game has paused, and we are told that the squad requires orders. So again, all of these interfacing screens are completely work in progress. But here we go. You're going to give these guys orders, and the strike team is about to encounter the guest strike team at the address of Van and Kelly. So we can call up Gaskill, who is just the placeholder name for the faction leader for guest. We can just wait and ignore these guys. I think if I ignore them, they're going to call me, actually, so I won't do that right now. The first thing we can do is we can attack them. Now, if we arrive at this place and we attack them immediately, then that's going to be quite a different mission type to some of the other types that we're looking at, because we model this as we've just arrived. So we've arrived and we haven't been seen by the enemy forces yet, because we've only just arrived. So I've got the possibility here of attacking them before they know we've arrived. So I'm gonna attack them right now, and I'm going to show you what happens in the in-game stuff. Okay, and here we are in mission. So there's quite a lot of stuff going on here, so I'll just take you through it. The mission area exactly corresponds to what's going on in the city. All of this stuff, as I say, is kind of work in progress, so you're going to have to take my word for it for now. I believe that now this is our vehicle here. Now, the astute of you will recognise that our vehicle actually came up this road. And when I've sorted that out, that will be reflected in these missions as well. So just try and ignore that for now. We're going for absolute maximal accuracy of every possible bit of information that we can get about what's happening on the city into these missions. So that's very important. We've got a little car park down here. We've obviously got these roads, and we've got a little bit of a park wooded area up here. Again, just try and ignore how shonky a lot of this looks. So let's focus on this here. Now we have the checkpoint over here. This is the guest forces, and as I say, they don't know we're here yet. So they're actually coloured in a very light colour, which denotes that they are unaware of our presence. This is my strike team with the crazy vehicle. I've just got 3 machine gunners, which is fairly boring. Now, this is going to show off some of the new stealth stuff in Frozen Synapse 2, and one of the really nice systems, we're putting our own bent on single player stealth. And when the enemy do not know you are there, you actually get to see what their patrol routes are doing while you're planning. So this is really nice. This creates a really nice new kind of gameplay where you're sort of free to try and approach and get as good a position on the enemy as you can, because you can actually see what they're going to do in the next 5 seconds of time. Believe me though, it's not that straightforward. Even though you can see what they're doing for the next 5 seconds, you still find yourself 2 or 3 turns in getting into real trouble. I'm not actually going to show you any of this stealth gameplay today. Today I'm just going to show you all the different ways that this encounter with the checkpoint can go down. But I will just finish describing the stealth gameplay. Most stealth games have the idea of stealth kills, where if you can kill someone quickly enough or stealthy enough, you do not alert the other people. Now this is something that I very specifically do not want in Frozen Synapse 2. When you have stealth kills in a stealth game, the game almost invariably for almost everyone becomes about just going slowly and methodically through the level, killing one person at a time. Now that's cool, that's totally cool, I love that in Thief, etc. But that has really been done to death, and that's not really what Frozen Synapse is about. So in Frozen Synapse 2, as soon as you get noticed, everyone will be alerted to your presence. So that the initial phase of these missions where you're undetected to start with is trying to get your guys in as good a position as possible to take down the bad guys. And it's really exciting trying to get your guys lined up perfectly without being seen, to have that one turn where you try and kill as many of the enemy as possible, and it works really well. And once you've had that, the moment where you get detected, then it transfers to being the Frozen Synapse that everyone knows, and you've got into a really great dynamic situation that is of your own design, and it works really well. So that's enough blowing my own trumpet on that particular thing. But every time you come across any situation where you get into a mission where the guys don't know you're there, you see them doing their patrol, you see them getting on with their business, and that all works really well. So here's this snapshot. We have arrived at the checkpoint, and the guys do not know that we're there, and we have the opportunity to attack them like this. So this is the first kind of thing that can happen at a checkpoint. Okay, and here we are back at the map screen. We've gone back in time, and our strike team has just arrived again. So we're going to be able to see some of the other options we have. So instead of just attacking, we are going to call up the leader of Guest and talk to him about what's going on. Now, I'm asking quite a lot of you guys with this video, with so much weirdness and brokenness, and this might be a step too far. So we'll see, and you can send me hate mail if this isn't working out. But because this is debug, I'm going to show you both the AI making decisions during this dialogue tree and the player making decisions. So right now, this is the AI's decision. Normally, the AI would be making decisions about what to do when I arrive at his checkpoint based on how he feels about me and his personality type. I'm going to make these decisions for the AI so I can show you the various different things that can happen. So the options the AI has when I arrive, the first one is an option if he's very respectful of you or scared of you, that kind of thing. The second is if he's a bit more bullshit with you and wants to sort of generally cause a bit of a problem. He says, I see you're traveling around the general area of Pereira willy-nilly as usual. And we're going to explore that more deeply in a second. If he's really, basically at war with you or very, very angry with you, he's just going to attack you straight away. And he can also just tell you to come on through if he's got a professional relationship with you or he's just not interested in having much of a conversation. So we're going to see about him just slightly challenging you, and we're going to press this option. So now we are making the decision for the player. We see him saying, Vizier, I see you're travelling around the general area of Pereira willy-nilly as usual. Well, I can't have it anymore. I'll need your squad to submit for a search. So that's pretty aggressive. This is not the finished writing, by the way. So I've got a couple of options here. I can refuse to go through this checkpoint. I can attack the checkpoint. And I can submit to the search and then surprise attack. There should be a fourth option there of just actually being searched and going through. That's not there right now. So if I choose to submit to the search and then surprise attack, we will have a look at what that looks like. Okay, now here we are in this level again, but things have changed. So we're in the same bit of the city, checkpoints in the same place, vehicles in the same place, although it's been parked at a different angle. But my guys are in a different place. Now, because I was submitting to a search at the point that I decided to surprise attack, the owner of these units is neither unaware of my presence nor willing to let me through. So we are immediately in a difficult situation. His guys are under AI, which means we cannot see what they're going to do. And I'm in a bad spot and in some trouble, so I'm going to need to try and get out of this. So this is, again, quite a dramatically different situation that's happening because of decisions and events on the city level, which I think is really, really cool. So there's that one, and we're going to go back to the map now and look at some other stuff that can happen. Okay, and here we are back at a familiar map screen, and we are going to call up Gazkill again, and this time he is going to be friendly and deferential to us. Excuse my little checkpoint, we've had some problems with the undesirable element, please come on through. He's just very happy for us to go through. Now we're happy to just go through. We can attack the checkpoint while we're going through. Surprise attack, pretty rude thing to do, he's not expecting that. We can just attack it straightforwardly, which is kind of a bit of a psycho option. We can also threaten him and tell him he needs to get rid of the checkpoint. Now, I'm not going to go down this whole conversation tree, but then he's going to do different things depending on how he really feels about you. He may well pack up and take his squad back home if he's really scared of you. He may well attack you on the spot, or he may just refuse. But right now, we're just going to have a quick look at what happens if we do a surprise attack while we're going through the checkpoint while he's not really sort of searching us or not expecting us to attack. And here we are, back at our checkpoint, but things are different once again. We are going to the checkpoint, but as opposed to the enemy forces being very suspicious and being ready for anything, they are technically truced with us and not paying us any attention. So if we choose to go off this pre-programmed plan and just start shooting, then that's going to work out just fine. As you can see, this is a pretty simple situation for our troops to just overwhelm theirs. So if you actually take on this decision, this mission, and you decide to attack these guys, you're probably going to get through it pretty quickly, and then the leader of guests is going to be pretty annoyed with you. It's going to go very differently to if they were searching you at the time and you've got to run for cover as the first thing you can do. So that's one of the other things that can happen at this checkpoint. So there you have it, just a little primer on road stuff, checkpoint stuff, and I know a lot of it's unfinished, but that hopefully gives you an idea into what's going on in the heart of Frozen Synapse 2, of the kind of things that I want to be happening everywhere. It's all about really dynamic mission situations that are completely emerging from what's going on in the map. This is not just a city map where we put in a bunch of pre-designed missions. This is a living, breathing city where a bunch of different factions are doing a bunch of different things. They're working as players. It's not just the AIs who can set up checkpoints. You can set up checkpoints. You can set up checkpoints and you can make the same decisions the AIs are making when they come through your checkpoint. The idea is that basically what the core tenet of what I want to do with this game is that anything the player can do, the AIs can do, and that you are playing as if you are playing with other players, but of course they're silly AIs who do lots of really funny things. And that's really just the whole idea. Not only can they give you contracts to deliver something or attack someone or protect someone or kidnap something, you can give them contracts to do the same, and that's where the game starts really going off the rails, getting a long way away from what other games have done. When you can manipulate what's going on by paying money to faction A to do something to faction B, and it just becomes really freeform and sandboxy. So I really hope you like what I've seen here. I know it's super early. This stuff is really coming together. Definitely let me know how you feel about this kind of stuff on the YouTube comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you again next week. Goodbye.